Hi, this is Alcan. Welcome back to my channel. Well, this is another video I wasn't expecting to make. Something to do with Kathy Hochul and the prison strike. She claims the strike is over, but she also fired over 2,000 guards who didn't refuse to come back to work. It's New York Post. Like Vaughn Golden says, Hochul administration says New York prison strike over, fires thousands of guards who refuse to return to work. Hmm. Governor Kathy Hochul administration has declared an end to the unsanctioned strike that hampered dozens of New York prisons for weeks and fired thousands of correctional officers who refused to return to work. The Department of Correction and Community Supervision Commissioner Daniel Marticello told reporters Monday evening the strike was over and revealed that prison guards who failed to clock in Monday were canned. We were committed to building a dedicated, resilient workforce and attracted the next generation of correctional leaders. Marfugo, whatever the fuck his name is, says, we will work to ensure the new department will be safer and more efficient for everyone involved. Bullshit. All right, this is bullshit. A deal struck over the weekend necessitated 85% of correctional officers and sergeants to return to work Monday in order for its terms to stick. While Marfugo said 85% threshold was not met, the state still planned to honor some of the points of the agreement, which includes establishing a committee to study the state's controversial solitary confinement policies. Yeah, it sort of sounds like the Blue Ribbon Panel commission that was guaranteed to stop up, though. How well does that go? I don't buy that shit. And other provisions meant to increase the safety and working conditions for correctional officers. About 10,000 of 13,500 DOCCS employees were working prior to the strike had returned as of Monday, according to Matafuco. The DOCCS commissioner said that more than 2,000 workers who did not return from the strike has been terminated effectively immediately. An unknown number of 6,500 National Guard troops who have been deployed to relieve the unstaffed prisons will remain in place to help backfill for the correctional officers for an indefinite period of time. They need these people, but no, they want to make a statement. Correctional officers who participated in the strike will still have to be on the hook for violations they incurred under the state Taylor law, which makes walkout illegal under the law. Officers who have to fork over 2 times the amount of pay for every day they were illegally striking. Hochul office estimated the strike has cost taxpayers $3.5 million per day. And that's about it. That's a short story. But again, this brings up the point that had the Taylor law been changed after our strike back in 2005, a lot of these problems wouldn't have been occurring. I think it's unfair that you force these people to go on strike. You screwed them out of money for something that was your fault to begin with. Yes, Kathy Hochul, it's your fault because you and the progressives in Albany was pushing bullshit legislation to undermine police, to defund the police, and you just send it over to the prisons as well. These people should not be losing their jobs because you're trying to make a bullshit agenda and statement. That's what it is, bullshit. You're full of bullshit. Just like that commissioner who fired these 2,000 people, he's full of bullshit. And as soon as a Republican wins the election, they should fire that asshole commissioner, restore these 2,000 people back, full pay and everything, because you're doing the same thing. You have fired people for the COVID, refused to bring them back, and these people are also owed jobs and back pay. That's the reason why we need to reform that stupid-ass Taylor law. If they had promised to fulfill the promises they did back in 2005 when we were on strike, none of these people would have been fired right now. There wouldn't have been no strike. Because management would have known that if they threatened to go on strike, they would have gotten hit with the penalties of the tail law instead of the employees. The employees should not be forced to be paying all this money back. You didn't deserve any of that money. You lost 3.5 million because of strike, because of your negligence, because of your corruption, because your stupidity, because of everything you did wrong that's causing a crime problem in New York City and New York State. It is you. You, Kathy Hochul. You can't even be trusted around a squirrel and a raccoon, let alone the inmates of 40 prisons. And then you try to handcuff law enforcement and the prison guards. This is what happens. There's no reason for this nonsense of yours. You need to be removed from office as soon as possible. Don't think for 1 second that this is over. It is not over. It's far from over. You think you're going to get reelected? I have news for you. You maybe TW might back you up, but doesn't mean everybody else is going to back you up. And law enforcement definitely not going to back you up. And anybody who lost their jobs, families, friends, and so on, they're going to remember this. They're not going to back you up either. You screwed yourself. And I guarantee you, if there's a Republican who says that if I get elected, I'm going to bring these people back, we're back paying everything, he's going to win. Then what you progressives are going to do? You're losing your shirt as it is. They might have to wait a year or two for a Republican to take back control of the state of New York, but they're going to get their money, whether you like it or not, and it should come out of your pocket. There's no reason for you to be collecting any money using the tail law when you are the responsible person for the condition that led to the strike. I mean, if you try to do that to TW Local 100, back then, I guarantee you all the unions across the country would have been coming down to New York State and letting you guys have it. And you know that. Like I said, we need tail law reform. Management needs to pay the same tail law fines as the employees if there's a strike. This bullshit that only one side gets penalized and the other one doesn't, that's absolute nonsense. I know a college professor came up with this idea, but I mean, I gotta remember this tail law was not named after any politician. The last law that was in place before the tail law was named after a Republican and a Democrat. This time, when that law was proposed, no politician wanted to put their name on that law. The professor who came up with the tail law is those whose name is on that tail law. You know, you got a bunch of cowards out there who doesn't want to do the damn thing. And I know we all got screwed in the 2005 strike, but reform should have came out of it, and it didn't. So correctional officers, I want you to study what happened in 2005 and try to screw these people over, because they shouldn't be allowed to get away with what they did to you. Absolutely not. Because then they say, oh, the whole thing is going to be suspended for 90 days. Yeah, how do you know it's going to be suspended for 90 days? How do you know they're not going to try to wiggle the way out of it and put it in anyway? Don't believe them. Because, like I said, we had the blue ribbon panel that was supposed to guarantee to stop opto and didn't. So don't get fooled. So this is how I can say, so long for now, and don't forget your stop. Then they wonder why I left New York.